Every year, as temperatures drop and deer seasons grind into their final weeks, the same message floods the hunting world. You're told you need heavier boots, thicker insulation, battery-heated layers, windproof fabrics stacked on top of scent-blocking membranes. The implication is clear. Without the right gear, late-season whitetail hunting is impossible. History, experience, and hard reality say otherwise. Late-season success has never hinged on gear alone. It has hinged on discipline, positioning, and understanding cold as a management problem rather than a clothing problem. Hunters who stay in the field when others quit aren't carrying more equipment. They're making fewer mistakes. The first myth that needs killing is the idea that warmth comes from insulation alone. Cold doesn't beat hunters because jackets fail. It beats them because moisture management fails. Sweat, breath condensation, and trapped humidity turn even the best insulation into a liability. Once wet, modern gear becomes dead weight. Long before heated vests existed, hunters learned to regulate effort, not temperature. They moved slowly, avoided unnecessary exertion, and stopped before sweating began. Staying dry was the goal, not staying warm. Late-season hunters who last longer still follow this rule, even if they don't articulate it. They underdress on the walk-in, open layers early, and, well, except being slightly cold during movement to avoid being soaked later. Gear companies don't advertise restraint because, honestly, restraint doesn't sell, but restraint keeps you hunting. Another uncomfortable truth is that wind is the real enemy, not cold. Temperature numbers distract hunters from what actually strips heat away. Wind steals warmth faster than low temperatures ever will. Old hunters understood this intuitively. They chose stand locations not just for deer movement, but for terrain features that blocked prevailing winds. South-facing slopes, leeward timber edges, and, natural bowls mattered more than thermal ratings.
Modern hunters often rely on fabric technology to solve wind problems that, geography already answers. Those late-season whitetail hunters who really succeed, they think like trappers and woodsmen. They hunt where the land does the work for them.
When the wind is wrong, they move stands or, honestly, just abandon the sit entirely. Gear doesn't compensate for poor positioning, no matter what anyone says. Stillness is another area where marketing can be a bit misleading. You're told you need extreme insulation to sit longer, but in reality, most hunters fail late season because they sit too still, too early, and, in the wrong place. Cold punishes inactivity, especially when your circulation slows down. Historically, hunters planned movement into their sights. They scouted while approaching, adjusted posture, shifted weight, and used small, deliberate movements to keep blood flowing without alerting game. Late-season deer are already conserving energy. They move less, bed tighter, and travel shorter distances. Hunters who expect long, motionless sits often end up freezing out before deer ever appear. The hunters who stay effective plan shorter, smarter sits tied to specific movement windows. Cold becomes manageable when time is managed. Food, not fire, has always been the hidden factor. Calories generate heat. Late-season hunters of the past carried dense, simple food and ate deliberately throughout the day. Modern hunters often forget to fuel properly, relying on just one heavy meal or sometimes nothing at all. When the body runs low, it simply shuts down heat production. And, no jacket fixes that. Hands and feet, they tell the same story. Most late-season failures actually start there. It's not because boots or gloves are inadequate, but rather because circulation is compromised. Tight footwear, constrictive socks, and overlayering, they all reduce blood flow. Old hunters, they really prioritized room, not just padding. Airspace mattered, dry socks mattered, changing socks mid-hunt, that mattered too. These are habits, not purchases. Noise discipline is another overlooked factor. You know, late-season woods are quiet, and cold air really carries sound. Bulky modern gear often amplifies movement noise, turning hunters into, well, walking warnings. Hunters who succeed late season simplify. Fewer layers, better fit and deliberate motion. Silence matters more when deer are already on edge. Scent control also changes in cold weather, though honestly few talk about it. Cold air holds scent low and moves it differently than warm thermals. Late-season hunters who understand this hunt lower, use terrain breaks, and avoid exposing scent above bedding areas. No spray replaces that understanding. Perhaps the biggest lie of all is that suffering is required. Late-season hunting isn't about enduring misery, it's about removing the causes of misery. Hunters who quit early often believe discomfort is inevitable. Hunters who last have systems. They plan entry routes, manage sweat, eat regularly, adjust stands, and leave before mistakes pile up. This approach really mirrors how people have hunted in cold environments for centuries. Sure, the gear has changed, but the principles haven't. The woods don't reward excess, they reward competence. Late-season whitetail hunting, well, it exposes weaknesses in preparation that early season often hides. It punishes rushed movement, poor positioning, bad nutrition, and, honestly, overconfidence in equipment. You know, hunters who stay effective aren't necessarily tougher. They're just quieter, slower, and a bit more deliberate in everything they do.
The truth is, it's a bit uncomfortable because it puts the responsibility right back on the hunter. Sure, gear can help, but, well, it can't think for you.
When the season turns cold and the woods start to empty out, the hunters who are still there aren't wearing any sort of magic clothing. Instead, they're applying those old lessons that, honestly, marketing just can't replace. If you really want to keep hunting when others give up, maybe it's time to stop asking what to buy. Instead, start asking what exactly you need to stop doing.